All right, this is my voice and your face. Is that working? Now I can't hear you.
No, I'm just pretending to mouth your
Oh,
voice.
geez. Good Lord. With so many technical difficulties. Give me 1 second. I have a backup camera that I'm going to use.
Okay. Well, welcome to the game chat. This is Isaac and Ryan, as you can see here.
Yeah. And our guest, Seppy, will be on in just a second. I'm hoping I can get my camera to work for just a second here.
Ryan is still putting on makeup behind the scenes, folks.
That's right. It takes a lot to get this face ready.
Oh, man. Face that launched 1,000 ships.
1,000 ships?
Yeah.
Tell us a story.
Yeah, while we're waiting, my son's birthday is next Sunday, so
That's
happy early
amazing.
birthday to Ethan. I know he's not watching, but
like most of our family members.
He'll be turning 18 next Sunday. So crazy stuff. Yeah, parenting adults is real and it's weird.
It is weird.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
No, none of my cameras are working.
Oh,
why?
Are you laptop or PC?
I'm Windows. Okay, how about this? I will try to fix this, and you're going to hang out with Seppy for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just going to start the show. So
yeah, just do it. Seppy, how are you?
It's good time to get things started.
All right, I'm going to mute myself and see if I can figure it out.
Okay. Well,
bye, Ryan. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. Well, so we'll start the show. Seppy, welcome to the game.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on with us. We usually technical difficulties have gotten rarer, but obviously Ryan's having one currently, so it must be that southern weather down there.
It's me. I'm filthy with gremlins today. Everything I've interacted with has had some sort of side issue like this. I mean, I've interacted with a lot of technology today, and I am batting 100%. I'm batting 1,000 for making technology fail. So,
well, yours is working, so we're good on your end.
And now it's still adjacent. It's still in my orbit.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, we're going to be talking about controlled chaos and punishing mechanics. So this is what happens when I let Ryan name the show. He gets all full in our title. But he wanted to start with, we like to have an opening question that's adjacent to the conversation. And we want to talk about yes, exactly. I have no way of putting comments on, but Jason, that's correct. Ryan is 100% ghosting us right now. So, but we'll just pull Bob in or somebody else from One Board Family.
Yeah, what about Bob?
What about Bob?
I love me some Bob.
Yeah, I got him here, so we'll just pull
that
Bob
beard
right
is
here.
So exciting. I love that that beard so much.
But our opening question was: do you have a favorite post-apocalyptic movie? So Seppy, I'll let you start. Do you have one, and why is it a favorite for you?
There's Ryan.
There he is.
There we go. Are we limiting it to just movies?
Okay. Movie or show? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, I mean, I think the best piece of post-apocalyptic anything has to be the Frank and Bill episode from The Last of Us. It tells you a complete love story about an underrepresented part of our society and how that kind of stuff. And it is heart-wrenching and there's Bob on the back of everything and complete. So if we're talking about like piece of post-apocalyptic media that is passive, then that piece of The Last of Us is fantastic. But as far as movies goes, like the genre, like I think Fury Road is such a complete and spectacle, and it is a story about going there and coming back, and the amount of character development that happens in a story that physically goes nowhere is incredible.
That's fair.
You hear me? Check.
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay, good. I can ruin the episode now.
Yeah. I feel like I need to start talking
a little stressful.
Here. Ryan
sorry.
You're in. That's all that matters, sir.
Okay.
So both of those great. I don't know if you caught Ryan what Seppy was saying.
Yes. Totally agree. And mine was actually going to be Fury Road. I was a big fan of Thunderdome when I was a kid, just
Mhm.
because it was such a crazy movie. I just remember growing up and like seeing Tina Turner in that role of like running the Thunderdome, and then what's that famous line? It's where they're introducing the fighter.
Oh, hasta la vista, baby.
You mean two men enter,
I
one
hate
man leaves?
yeah, the chant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two men enter. One of the
I remember as a kid knowing that and loving it,
two men enter, one man leaves. Now,
but-
your chat has talked about the Book of Eli, and I would state that the Book of Eli is in the subcategory of punchline post-apocalyptic movies. There are certain ones where the entire movie is about that punchline. A Boy and His Dog, A Book of Eli. There's a long tradition of when you get to the end, there's a discovery or a joke or a line, and that is definitely the case.
Where are comments? I'm so sorry.
Oh, you
Where
can't
are
see the comments
in this? I feel like I've lost. Oh, it's sitting underneath a button.
I say only you can
Boo.
mess with those. I'm pretty sure.
Boo.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed Book of Eli. It was on my short list of ones when I started listing. I also listed Zombieland. I listed the Matrix, which is very post-apocalyptic.
It's also a dystopia.
Yes.
So when we're looking at and the Matrix is an example of the inevitable machine revolt, like subgenres of apocalypses. There are a lot of genres of apocalypses onto themselves, and ones that people don't think of as apocalypses, but probably should. I had a couple that I was really excited about that you have to realize that this is a dystopia or an apocalypse. Obviously, Idiocracy is a perfect example of the slow decline to a dystopia. So dystopia, your apocalypse does not have to be fast. It can be in slivers and steps.
Yeah. Well, I had Hunger Games was one I thought of also, which is that type of
dystopia.
Things have gotten bad. Bob and I, I'm trying to remember. It's another Max show that we just absolutely fell in love with. It was a short series.
Raised by Wolves?
No, it was that's another great one too, but it was dystopian. It had a ton of really good hip hop music in it. Bob, I see you're in here. Help me out with the title. So I'm blanking. He'll post it in a minute, but just the genre is just one we enjoy and we love seeing on the screen.
Most people think about it as science fiction, but occasionally fantasy apocalypses show up, like an averted like Game of Thrones is an example of an averted fantasy apocalypse. Lord of the Rings, like what happens in these situations if the bad guys win is the stuff of D&D campaigns.
No, Josh. Wally.
Wally is absolutely dystopian.
Yeah, that's awesome
and perfectly so. The apocalypse then being an environmental one.
Station 11. There it is.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
I don't know Station 11.
Great series on Max.
Yeah. But the question is, why are these so attractive to us, and why is they so relatable? Obviously, the ones that people are getting even more accustomed to are the ones that they can experience multiple ways, like Fallout as a game, now as a series, as a board game, as an app. Like, there's so much room to run around in that because it's also dystopias, like all these little pocket dystopias, and we see with the series, spoiler alert, capitalism is the apocalypse. It's not so much a nuclear apocalypse; it's the capitalism is the actual apocalypse.
Everything's sitting around it. Which is another great series and video game, and it's
did
all the
either one of you see the it's more of an audio thing on Apple TV when we first got Apple TV, probably 2022. There was kind of like an end of the world, like World War III type of show, but it was audio only. Did either one of you see that?
on Apple
No.
TV.
Yeah, if anybody anybody remembers the name of that, it was an Apple TV show that it was just audio waves, and actually, um, man, it had a couple people from Community in it.
Gosh, I'm not
Man.
sure.
This
Yeah.
might seem apocalyptic, but somebody cast me as Superman in the original Superman dramas. So if you want to hear the gayest, most Asian Superman in the history of radio dramas, you can hear me play as Superman. I think it was like the Flint theater company's version of, and I'm like, all right, I'm doing this.
It's probably the only chance I'm going to get to be Superman. I mean,
Yeah.
No, it was very fun because I took the accent and I decided that big boisterous Mighty Mouse / All Might voice wasn't an affectation; it was Kryptonian accent. Like all Kryptonians speak that
Just
way.
sound that way.
Yeah, that is how they interpret English, and so that's their natural accent. And so then I built my Superman on that.
That's interesting.
I
So the series that I was thinking of is 2021. It came out. It was a TV series. It was one season, and each episode's around 10 to 12 minutes, and it's called Calls.
Oh,
it was on Apple TV.
Apple TV, and all it is vocal waves on your screen in different orientations.
Neat.
So, yeah. Anyway,
Is Superman an apocalypse?
he causes one every time he does anything.
That's true, but his planet got all blown up.
That's true.
That's a very specific flavor of apocalypse. Like
it is.
like he's the last one. Like Superman, from his perspective, from the Kryptonians, that's an apocalypse. We are benefiting from that from humans. So and he's trying to postpone us, but there's a strong argument that you can interpret Superman as an apocalyptic story.
That makes sense.
I love it. So we're talking about all sorts of chaos and apocalypse. But Ryan, your next question you read into is what games fit well in this category of chaos and chaos, right?
Yeah, if you have two different categories, chaos and controlled chaos, what's a game that would kind of fit in each?
All right, so chaos isn't actually a feeling. It is something that is derived from mechanisms. And the most common mechanisms that bring the chaotic feel are time related.
Yep.
So anything that is simultaneous, real time, or in the case of controlled chaos, which is simultaneous play, turn-based play, where everybody catches up and so forth. Those are really so the ultimate and loudest game in all of gaming, as far as chaos goes, is Pit.
Yeah.
Pit is the loudest game in gaming. Isaac, have you played Pit?
I have played Pit. Yes.
Yeah, Pit is, you cannot get people but screaming for that. Obviously, Flushing Frenzy is also in one. That's dexterity plus simultaneous play, where you get I've never seen a game of Flushing Frenzy happen and an adult, to not get hurt.
That's funny.
Right?
Or what's the Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
If you have the slam thing as
That's
Taco
Bob's
Cat,
favorite game.
Yeah,
Bob loves it.
Yeah, Taco Cat is generally a game. So when you have people who, and the older you get, your reaction time becomes different, and so you have to do other things to get an advantage. You just could become meaner.
Yeah.
But chaos as a thing, people think they become agents of chaos when they're taking a game and they are throwing a wrench into everybody else's plan. But as far as the feeling for chaos, it has everything to do with either monkeying with the time mechanics of what people expect with the game, or changing the expectation for what happens in a game.
Right.
My chaos game would be Magic Maze. Erin, the first time she played that, she knew she hated it. She was like, it was at the time it was Spiel winner. Was it winner or nominee? I think it was a winner, right?
I think that won, right?
Yeah, it won the
It won
Spiel that
a
year.
spiel. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we learned it that year, and somebody taught it to us. Aaron was like, nope, this is not for me. Not even going to try it again. And then I think the controlled chaos would be Zombicide. Zombicide gets chaotic. It gets wild. Like the board fills with zombies, but everybody's kind of trying to tamp it down and take their turns to the best of their ability and make it work.
The theme for controlled chaos is the unexpected, and all your plans are going to go out the window. Can you adjust? And can your plans or flexibility, or can you just manage to make fewer mistakes than someone else?
That's true.
That is the signature for controlled chaos. Can I make, because we're all going to make mistakes because it's unpredictable and awful. Can I get a little bit luckier, and can I make fewer mistakes than the next person?
Yeah.
So when I thought of chaos, I thought about games like Perfection. Like to me, that's like this, like you said, time, right? But there's this nervousness to a game like that, playing it as a kid. And the other game that we think of in our house, we play it a lot. And you talked about age. The younger people in our families love it, which is Dutch Blitz. Like they love playing Dutch Blitz, and they love slamming hands and smacking each other to get to the things. And I'm watching my son's brain move a million miles a minute. I'm like, oh, I guess I'll move this. I'll go, and he's got 20 cards played out. So
I hate Dutch Blitz because of how slow I am. I'm not very quick, and it makes me feel stupider than any other game. I love Seppy said, as you get older, your reaction time changes. He didn't say gets worse.
Well, like
that's what you meant.
It doesn't get better.
It doesn't get better, but you have to understand the reason I say changes is because the flavor of reaction does change.
Yeah.
And the amplitude of reaction changes, but more importantly, what creates people's perception of time, and then why we should be forgiving of children, is the fact that they are experiencing time at such an accelerated rate compared to us. What creates the perception of passing time is the ability of the brain to make new neurons and store memories. And so children who are more easily getting bored or all that kind of stuff are experiencing time at such a rate. Like I can sit like outside or on a walk indefinitely now. I like time is barely blipping for my age. I'm like, oh, like I am looking at things in the term of how it takes to release a game, right? I worked on Conquest Princess for 9 years, Isaac.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like how many things, like you have a child who's 18 now, you can like the perception, like that's a unit of time. Like 18 months is the like what I used to perceive in my high school time as a week. Right. And so when you think about it, not as good or bad, but different, right?
Yeah.
And from an evolutionary standpoint, it is great for a species to have senior members be able to convey wisdom. Maybe not, I should be president, I'm too old, I should retire wisdom, but
but wisdom.
But wisdom, like being a grandmother is a survival tactic for the human animal, because it's great to have women help with or units of society help with children who are not competing in the cycle for children, which is really good. Like that's a whole argument for the fact that I'm old and I will go off on any random topic that has statistics.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, there you go. Bob backed you up.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You guys are experiencing the end. You just got to experience how time slows for me, because my feeling of time dilation, I just made you guys all go, oh my God, we're so much younger than him. He's still talking.
No, it's interesting to have Ryan is pretty old. Some knowledge.
Yeah.
Whatever, Ryan, you're older than me.
Ryan's fairly old.
Oh my goodness. You're so much older than me.
I am very, very old.
I feel old.
I have a funny feeling we're probably all around the same age.
I was at a convention this weekend. I did 30 hours of demo at Convergence in Minneapolis, of course. And tomorrow I have my old guy physical, and then I launch End of the Line. But speak of time dilation. But I had somebody who's like, that was a volunteer, and she's like, my dad was famous he was in the band The Castaways from the 50s. And I'm like, The Castaways is 1960s. I'm pretty sure. I remember hearing it on the radio. It is
That's
not a
funny.
1950 band. And I'm like, oh my God, you're Roy Hensley's granddaughter? And because she's like, how do you know my father? I'm like, never mind. And I just slammed my phone on the table,
That's so
playing
funny.
Liar, Liar by the Castaways, which is still a bop. And I called it a bop, and they were offended that I used
There we go.
that turn.
There we go. That's really funny.
Like, look it up. It is a very laughing, perfectly 60s, like British pop hit, The Castaways.
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
No, it's great. It's got that
since we-
fringe dancing kind of laughing kind of thing. If you need that little, like, what was sexy before? Yeah.
That's good.
Mhm.
Since we were talking about real-time games often feel chaotic. What is one real-time game that you really enjoy the design of?
Galaxy Trucker.
Galaxy Trucker, okay.
Galaxy Trucker, you can learn a skill to make up from the fact that in planning and understanding can give you some level of catch up that quickness doesn't. Like understanding the game design, and all that kind of stuff balances out the fact that older players perceive things differently than young players. Like, you can make better decisions. Yeah.
That's good.
awesome.
I would say Skyrocket's the one from came out this year from Floodgate Games. The sand timers, flipping them over. It's a real-time game that doesn't feel punishing. It just feels like you just have to be very aware of your surroundings. And I really like it.
Fuse, I feel like it's an upgrade for Fuse.
Oh, Fuse.
Very good, but it's intense. We are going to Gen Con. I will be running games the whole time, Bob. You should come and get a hug. I'd love to thank you.
Bob and I will be there.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
We'll be working the Wise Wizard booth.
Derek. Wise Wizards. Yay. With Derek.
With Derek and the crew. Yeah, Bob and I will be there.
That's amazing.
So mine, I picked. I grabbed it. I don't know where I put it, but it's. There it is. It's a big box. It's Sorcerer City. Sorcerer City is real time, but it doesn't feel punishing real time, and I like that it's gradable real time. And it's like, do you want this to be super challenging? Go with this time limit, and then it kind of progresses up from there. It's a game that if you could really think through the tile placement, you'd probably do a lot better, but I love the speed of trying to get it all on the table.
I think 5 Minute Dungeon deserves honorable mention. It's really good. Yeah, and it's exactly what it promises to be. It gets the most accurate title to
That's true.
time
5
chaos
minutes in.
ratio. Yeah, it's 5 minutes. Like, and even if you do badly, you're like, all right, let's do. Yeah, it's 5 Minute Dungeon.
Yeah.
One that should not be attempted though is that ER game from Smirk and Dagger. That real time one. I had Kurt demoing that game to me, and I nearly died. Like,
which one is that?
Is that the patient that was dying one?
Yeah, the ER. You're you're doing triage.
Oh.
Like, if you've ever played this game, oh my god,
I don't.
It will cause you a heart attack. Yeah, we're trying to prevent heart attacks in fictional
and causing one instead.
Yeah, like
That's interesting.
I had a tightness in my chest playing that game with Kurt, and I was like, God, Kurt, this game is too intense. I can't do it.
That's funny. That's really funny. So next question is, some people shy away from games with a take that mechanic. What's one game that you will always suggest with this mechanic?
I hate take that games. I feel like, as a person who has this face and this demeanor, like I am voted off the island. I am killed as a werewolf. There's just no universe where people can single target and destroy you. That is a good fit for me, and it's probably one of the reasons why we wrote End of the Line. You cannot target it. It's a take this game.
Yeah.
I have to survive the terrible thing before it is inflicted on anybody else. I have to risk the terrible thing, or it doesn't happen. Like, it's like, sneaking up on somebody to backstab them with a landmine.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Take this game.
Yeah.
Take this game. But if I had to choose one, if I had to choose to take that game, maybe old school Illuminati has some take that element because it's a balance of power. Like if you're trying, you have to play balance of power that somebody else doesn't win, right? Do you consider diplomacy a take that game?
A slow burning take
the
that,
world's most slow burning, agonizing. Like
Illuminati is a good pick. My buddy Jason, who's watching this, I know he's a big fan and has played that over the years, but that feels like a good.
That's
there's
been
enough
around a long time,
take. Yeah, that's an old school Steve Jackson.
Yeah, my best like as a conventioneer moment was winning a cheaters tournament of Illuminati.
Really?
There's a variant.
Cheating.
There's a variant. And what I did during that game, I'm from Michigan, and people from Michigan play euchre. And if you play euchre and you were of an age, that means you learn to drink and manipulate cards very easily. So what I ended up doing was every turn I would deal myself way more cards than everybody else and then shoot them into my lap and then choose the ones that I needed. And I did this for 3 hours without getting up. Really? And I won the tournament. It was 8 people in the final round. And then when the judge declared me the winner, I said, so I'm the winner now. You can't take that back. And he was like, yes. And I stood up and all these cards poured out everywhere. And people were like, and I ran to the bathroom and they're like, there was a massive uproar by people because they had not realized that this I was up and up about everything else that I was doing. I was always letting other people cheat, and so I became really trustworthy to know what I was doing. But everything I was doing was below the table. I was like,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, that was the thing.
It's good.
That I did.
Yeah, euchre's a pretty big Midwestern. I'm in Ohio, so I'm not too far south of you, but from where one of our local t-shirt companies, one of their biggest sellers is a pick 'em up, I'm going alone t-shirt. So like that's the thing.
Is that touch the Great Lakes to play euchre?
Yeah.
If you play touch the
have you played it, Ryan? Like, is that a
I've never played. No, I know euchre. I know of euchre. I just don't.
Like, if you don't know how to play around here, it's like, what's wrong with you? In fact, I went through all of college purposely not knowing how to play because there's always like, we just need one more. Can you play one more? You got one more for you? I'm like, no, I don't know how to play. We'll teach you. I'm like, no, I don't want to know how to play.
Spades or hearts?
Spades and hearts, I'll do all day.
Spades all day down here.
All right, so spades is if you are a massive spades community, then you might
spades,
not
hearts.
Spades is huge down here.
Train dominoes.
So what you're saying, Isaac, is that Unmatched is kind of like your kind of like euchre was in college, where you're just refusing to play it.
Okay. I hear that, Ryan, 100%.
Yeah.
In Wisconsin, they have the most bizarre one. If you ever get a chance to watch people play Sheep's Head, it is it is the Cones of Dunshire for taking games. Like Sheep's Head, like if any of your awesome fans know Sheep's Head is crazy.
Okay.
It is, the game
I gotta
is
look that
nuts.
up
now. Not familiar.
Yeah. No,
sounds like a Bob kind of game.
You have to grow up with Sheep's Head to understand what is going on with it. It is crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but look it up. It's crazy. It's insane.
I'm just gonna sip my tea, but I'm not saying anything.
So I think my take that. So it would take 5 be or 6 nymph. Would
100%.
I feel like that's a take that game. You're
you
trying
can host
to
somebody
bait somebody into feeling good about a line and then screwing them over. Yeah. So that's the one that I would play anytime, every time. You know? So.
So my suggestion is, we learned this at Gen Con last year. I love this game. It is so aggressive, so take thatty, and that's Spicy.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
Spicy is so much. Are you familiar with those, Seppy? Have you seen it?
No. So I love the box and the cover.
Spicy's good.
It was Spiel 2020 nominated. But it's 3 spices. It's chili, it's wasabi, and it's pepper. So you got to be real careful when you're saying chili versus pepper, that you're talking about chili and not pepper, and pepper, not chili. But it's BS essentially. And so you're laying a card in sequential order, but you have to name the suit and the number. So it's a 3 pepper, and somebody calls your BS and they have to say you're wrong on the number or you're wrong on the suit, but you have to be right. So you could BS one and not the other, and they could pick the wrong thing. and you still get away with a lie. It's ridiculous. There's variant rules in it
That's good.
that are so chaotic, but you have to be all in for like this game's gonna be rude and take that and
Rude.
yeah,
Yeah.
as long as you're okay with
Rude.
that, it's a
Rude.
fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
What's our next question?
Is there a
Isaac?
game in your memory that you have a little trauma from, whether it was a game session or a mechanic, something
Munchkin.
yeah.
Munchkin. All right. So this is what so I'm old. And so I came to the Twin Cities more than 25 years ago. And my earliest game group was actually formed in the game store that Clay, who runs operations for Leader, he ran that game store. It was called Merkle.
Okay.
And so that group
Nice.
formed up and around there. And there would be a person who wanted us to play Munchkin all the time. And so this is what I did. Okay. I understood. Steve Jackson is an amazing person. He did a lot of amazing things for gaming, but games occasionally need to be updated, and sometimes you outgrow games, and both those things are acceptable.
Yeah.
This being said, if you play Munchkin, not to win, but to make it never end, you can play it so you can never end. And I was like, hey, we don't want to play this game. This game's broken, and we should be done with this. We should go on to something else. That's a better use of our time. And he's like, no, we're playing this. I'm like, I'm gonna prove this to you that we should never play this again.
Jeez.
He's like, no, I'm gonna beat you senseless. And so there was 6 of us. And so I tied us up in a never-ending loop of not moving forward for more than 3 hours in this one Munchkin game until they all relinquished that I was the Prince of Darkness and that I had proved my points.
That's funny.
Yeah, very doable in that game. Very, and like you said, sometimes we outgrow games. Like that was my game when I first got into gaming, right? As I started in on like Catan and Ticket to Ride and Carcassonne, and then I got into Munchkin, and I was deep into that game and loved it and collected it and
like Killer Bunnies or Munchkin.
Same type of aggressive play, but yeah, there got to that point where I enjoy it so much that 6 people at the table meant it was 5 versus 1. They ganged up on you consistently, and like Bob said,
Munchkin is awful.
It's a pile on effect.
But still, it was 6-player Munchkin. Those people trying to win, and I kept them all from winning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you could win. You could win right now. I'm like, that's not the point of this game.
That's not the point. I want to ruin your life.
I want you to ruin this game so that we never have to play it again.
So Josh said Heather's is Reef. She had a terrible alpha gamer join our demo at Origins the year it came out, and she will never play it again. That's sad. Reef is really good.
I hate that when that happens. But
Reef is a good one, but that definitely ruins it.
When somebody ruins a game for you, a person can ruin a game for you.
100%.
They can, and I ruined the Munchkin for all of them.
Well, Bob and I were talking about that last night with Simon about what games that we've seen friends that were like, you're gonna love this game, and they played it with the wrong people or at the wrong time or the wrong attitude, and they never want to play it again.
All right, so
and that's easy to do.
Isaac, I don't mean to cut you off. I shouldn't. I'm very excited and very tired by this topic, but I'm very people don't know where people's energy level is. People don't know where people's skill level with games are. People look from their own lens, and before you suggest like feudum for someone, perhaps you should see like what other games they've had success with, and success doesn't mean win. Had fun playing. Because as modern gamers, we don't realize that we are building skills, and we are building skills all the time. Like I'm awful to demo to teach games to because I look at people and go, hey, let's just start playing. They're like, you don't need anything. No, anything. I'm like let's just this game is supposed to be good, and if this game is good, there's certain principles in there, and I don't need to win to have fun. What I need to do is just play and discover games my own way. But that's because, I Fight in a Box. I've been doing this full time now since 2013. Right. And before that, I was writing games and all this other kinds of stuff. Like I live games. Yeah. And I, it changes what you find exciting. It changes like how you appreciate games. Yeah. Like, I have a very sick of fascination with mean games, in particular, like Kingdom Death Monster is something you should never inflict on other people. But I love that game. That game is amazing.
That's funny. That's funny.
The game is awful, but it is amazing. But it is awful. It is amazing.
Awfully amazing.
It's a $7,500 board game, Isaac.
It's
not for
the
me.
amount of money spent on that game is ridiculous.
Like
Yeah, it's not for
70.
me.
I can't afford that. I make games for a living, but I like some of the fight fans. I played with
crazy.
like 4 different full copies of that in and around the fan group is the Twin Cities. I'm like, how is this even possible? Like,
Yeah.
these 4 people have spent more in this game than I crowdfunded on one of like multiple of my games.
Yeah.
Just these 4 people.
My car costs less than that.
Yes, it's like, oh my god.
I think the game that I go back to, like in my childhood, Trouble was such a fun, Trouble the Pop-O-Matic bubble thing.
Mhm.
You know, it was such a fun game, but I played with friends in the neighborhood that they would gang up, and because I was like the bigger kid, they would beat me. And so it's like, hop on Ryan, it's like, oh, you're coming around. I could move this one, but I could get Ryan out. And so like Trouble gave me a little bit of PTSD where I'm like, oh man. So anytime I played Trouble with my kids, I was like, do I enact revenge and like make their childhood terrible, or do I let them go? So
Bob, your commitment to Lorcana should not be underestimated.
that's true.
Yeah,
That's
if
true.
you love it, you love it. That's amazing.
Honestly, Real Rules Monopoly is good, but every other version of Monopoly is mean and traumatic
Except
and
for
long.
Gamer Edition.
No. Well, that's a whole
Yeah,
different
that's
game.
a whole
That's
different
fun.
game.
But I'm saying like every house ruled version
Yeah.
of Monopoly makes the game difficult. If you just play it the right way,
Yeah,
it's
just
over
play it the right
90
way.
minutes and it's fine and it's not a
Yeah.
great game and that's okay. I don't need
That's
to play
fine.
it. But the chaos of the like, oh my gosh, we're 6 hours in. Like I was just talking to one of my coworkers today. I said, he's like, hey, going on a camping trip with his family. I'll send you with a bag of games, stuff you can check out. He's like, well, we usually play like Monopoly, but it takes like 2 or 3 days to play the game. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you doing with your time? Like, get a couple puzzles instead. You'll have a much better time around the table.
Absolutely.
When you have interactions with non-gamers, speaking of building skills and traumatic experiences, occasionally people go, what do you do for a living? Well, I'm like, I make board games. And they're like, people do that?
That's funny. No, they just appear. You pull them off of a plant.
They think it's like board gaming is complete. Like,
all the
they
games
understand, like, oh, board games. They know these 8 titles and these 8 titles. Like, it's chess, Monopoly, Uno. So, Clue, Scrabble, boom, 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 boom. Like,
Well, it's
why
like Grant,
would you? Why would
Grant's
you make
joke
anything else?
when he talked about dating, and I don't know if you've seen that clip from Grant where he said, how many games you think is a lot, and they're like 10, and somebody says 50, and they're like, they make 50 games, like buckle up, let me tell you how many games I own.
Yeah, but back to the traumatizing experience, like giving people things that they're not ready for, is traumatizing.
True.
Like from children to humans, any level of like, don't give people.
Well, and that's why I keep game stats. Honestly, that's the main reason I keep game stats for friends. I can go back and see what I've already played with them, and I make notes. My friend so and so really enjoyed this game. Hey, remember when we played this and you really enjoyed it? Let's try it again. And
I do that.
I can build off of that.
Yeah, and I do that actually for anime too. Like I love giving people anime recommendations, but I make them tell me what they've started with, and I give them rules, and then we rate the things that I recommend because it's huge. Like board gaming is so many experiences, right? Yeah. But you start with a window that says, hey, it's this thing. I'm like, well, let me push you into that tree, and down that rabbit hole, you will realize exactly how far you can make poor life choices.
Yes, that's true. So Seppy, you're on the show because we want to talk about your new Kickstarter. Well, your game, your second edition of a game that exists, but you're going to Kickstarter with this. And tell us a little bit about End of the Line.
End of the Line, I wrote the original in 2009. And this second edition is now 15 years of me becoming a better game designer and changing in gaming. And it is time for this version of the game. It is a take this game, as we talked about. It is simultaneous play, deadly drafting. And it has been called by critics like Hungry Gamer as the meanest game in gaming.
That's
Period.
funny.
It is mean. The game is cruel, and it is punishing. We talked about chaos as a feel, and we talked a little bit about Kingdom Death Monster. Now, Kingdom Death Monster is a mean game. Like, you have to survive mean things, and it is very much a chance to learn to laugh at your pain and the pain of others in an environment that is appropriate.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, Michigan people have a mean sense of humor. Like, any place
100%.
where clean drinking water isn't a constitutional right, those people are going to be mean. And I'm from Detroit originally. You can tell by my number of allergies that I played in the industrial parks and other bad places of the metro. Like, seriously. And Cold War kids are super self-sufficient, and we always thought the world was going to end anyway. And so, and I'm, being gay and Asian in Detroit in the 80s was awful. And so you learn to compartmentalize enough so that you can have fun. And since all my games are autobiographical, and we're back to those, hey, are the end times coming? Like, why not do this thing?
That's funny. You showed us the game when we were at Origins. You sat down with Aaron and I that first night and showed us how to play and everything. It's just really cool. You've got this little family of meeples, and the family is going to be who you send out into the wasteland, to do your bidding, and you're sending them out with a card, essentially. And so it's really neat how it works, because I like programming games, but most programming games I kind of have a little bit of control over it. Something like Cult Express or Mountains Out of Molehills, like, you have a little bit of control, and things can disrupt the control. But this is a programming game where everybody is disrupting everybody.
It is, like, understanding when you have the lever is part of the skill for the game, and when to hit the lever, and when to do that kind of stuff. And in your first few plays, you're not going to get it.
Yeah. It's tough to get exactly what you need those first few plays. I've played it 3 times now, and I really like how it's like, okay, this person is going to try to do this. I'm going to counteract it with this, and then they're going to blow themselves up, So
it does reward you for multiple plays.
Yeah.
Right? The kind of chaos that ends up in the game, and the laughs and jokes, it's knowing that they're going to show up actually enhances your fun.
Yes.
And that's 15 years of gameplay to make that happen.
There was a card. This is a family-friendly show.
It is.
This game should have. You should have said there's a trigger warning for this. Like, every trigger warning ever should be, like, if you like, post-apocalyptic as a genre is filled with like dark themes and dark humor, and you have to be ready for that.
Yeah. There's a card. I'm not going to show it. It's a card that's
family show, right? Family show.
Guns equal good. It's a law. It's a law.
It's also the very first line in the movie Zardoz.
Okay, I didn't know what that line was from.
It's from a PG movie. It is right after they say the line, "Guns equal good, the equals bad is bad," is the very first line of Zardoz, and after that, the Easter Island head that they're riding in, vomits rifles all over the beach.
That's really funny.
It is literally like, I could not write that level of psychedelic, and everybody should know. If folks want to know what kind of movie that is and don't mind their browser history ever recovering from it, all you have to do is search like Sean Connery red diaper, and then you will know exactly what I am talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. I've never seen the movie, but I'm familiar with the meme.
I love this right here. This just the little like nods to 1950s like movie type stuff. I love the trailer that you have for this. So this one, this card, did you hear something back there? kill the last character in line. You know,
Yeah.
and so you're like your last character. You're like, maybe I can move up. You start swapping places, and then somebody ends up at the end of the line, and then they're murdered.
That's it. It's the level of fun. So one of the upgrades for this version, not as only as gameplay, is we added the 4 mascots to the game, and that means we're going to add Looney Tune level cartoons to the apocalypse, which makes it way more approachable as a person who grew up with Bugs Bunny doing drag and every bombs in every box, like this is super entertaining to me. And so we added that back in to remind people of some of that zaniness. And the awesome thing about the game, the levers that you control have everything to do with the sequence of events. And you start at the end of the line, and you always do the now cards first. And now cards are the ones that change the order of the line or change everybody's position. Okay, they are also functionally the safest because they generally mix up the order. Well, the events are the ones that either get you resources that you need out of sequence or kill people. So you have to have those cards if you want to get ahead on the objective of the game. And the last one is laws. And in laws, you are massively changing the function of the lines and the rules. And then some of them are brutal so that you can make it get yourself ahead. And all of these things you yourself have to survive. Oh my God, is that Chris? I haven't seen Chris in forever. Chris. Yeah. So levels of control and understanding the programming mechanism and how to survive is, I mean, obviously how to survive in an uncertain world is the theme. And I love a game where everybody can lose.
That's true. Yeah.
That's a rare game.
It doesn't. And the new version, it costs half as much and plays in a third or half the time.
Nice. Awesome. I never played the original, but Gen Con. You'll see you at Gen Con. So I never played the original version, but I love the design of processing, which is your cow abduction game. And it felt like when you showed this, I was like, okay, I'm understanding. Yeah, I'm understanding where all this fits in your brain, I guess.
It's good. I like a simple mechanism where even if you do not understand it, you can play the game and then you will learn. Like where you can, I think it's the hallmark of a good game that a person is rewarded for learning the game. And processing is definitely processing and end of the line are both like me, Isaac. They're both smarter than they look.
I mean, welcome to the club here.
We're excited about End of the Line. End of the Line is going to Kickstarter tomorrow. You're going to be able to jump on the Kickstarter campaign. We will have it in the show notes if you watch this at a later date. And so definitely check that one out when it launches tomorrow.
And fans of our earlier titles, Hedgehog Hop, you've seen our Super Deluxe version, Super Deluxe Hedgehog Hop and Mouse Cheese Cat Cucumber, right, Ryan?
Yes, I've seen Mouse Cat Cheese, Mouse Cat Mouse Cat
Mouse Cheese.
Right? Mouse cheese, cat cucumber. Remember that was in our top 10 for that year. I was so impressed with that design. It was like, I was like, this is a small game that if you don't have it, you screwed up.
It is a great game, and we did deluxe versions of that, and we hand number and so forth and whatnot. And so we are, as part of the End of the Line, we are doing a reprint of the deluxe with the bag. So there's 100 more of those, only 100.
That's cool.
And the much awaited expansion, but only in the acrylic, of Hopping with the Stars.
That's funny.
So Hopping with the Stars is also going to be added. So you can look forward to those two things for the crowdfund tomorrow.
I love it.
Well, stay tuned for it. It'll be on Kickstarter. We'll share a link on our channels. So Seppy, this is something that we do every episode. This is the Game Chat presents Pick 5. Pretend this is a logo.
No, I've got the logo, Ryan. I redid it.
Oh, hold it. You have a logo?
Yeah, I redid it.
Okay, where is it?
It's right there.
Where is it? Oh,
I shared screen.
Okay, yeah.
Do you like it?
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
So good.
That's good.
So good,
That's
Isaac. So
Thank
good.
you.
It's
Look
really
at
good.
the picture of me and Ryan at Origins up there at the top.
Upside down, and we're
No, the other one. The
Oh,
picture of me and
That
you.
angle makes
That's-
his relationship with the turkey a little nefarious. So I'm
yeah.
a little uncomfortable.
And me and my favorite game up there. You see me?
What is happening?
Oh,
Pick
unmatched.
5. Unmatched. Pick 5 with
funny.
Fireball.
Funny story. I asked you how much you liked Unmatched. What things you liked about Unmatched? Right in front of Justin Jacobson of Restoration.
Remember the thing you said about traumatic gaming experience? That would be my Origins version. Because I just froze and I'm like, this guy doesn't know that Ryan and I joke about this. This isn't going to be funny to him. So I don't really know where to go with this. And I said, I've never had a chance to play it, actually.
Wow. Ryan, that's so mean. I
never had a chance. Well, here's the thing. Everybody
It-
knows that you're a troll. And so
Well, he didn't.
we all know that you're a troll. You need to be trolled at some point.
Even Erin, with her sweet Southern heart, said,
Erin
"Ryan,
felt
why did
so
you
bad
just do
for
that
you."
to him?"
Yes. Erin
Empathy is a
bad.
curse. Erin should know that at this point. Married to Ryan for so long.
I'll work on
a
something.
curse.
I'll work on something.
I know you'll get me. I know you'll get me. So pick 5. These are 5 mean games. We're picking games that are mean. So either it has a mean mechanic or it's got something where you can really screw over another player. We always start with our guest. Name your, in no particular order, name your 5th game, and we'll just go around giving one at a time.
So am I ordering these from my least favorite?
No specific order, just 5 mean games.
They're not really
Kingdom Death Monster is just so mean. It's so mean. And
if you have the money for it, you can,
it's mean to participate in. It's like mean to learn. Everything in the game is mean. Like the
mean all around.
I'm going with Buried Treasure. Speaking of Restoration games, Buried Treasure is a Sid Saxon game, and it was originally Buried Treasure is such a mean game. You're stealing pies from each other, and was that on your list?
No, Ryan, because I don't have a list. You know this.
Sucks for you. But Buried Treasure is so mean and so nasty, and just you one person sitting at the table and they've got like one pie, and they're like, "Why did you do this to me?" And they're just crying.
Speaking of 4 now, is like we each pick one, or
no, we each pick one.
So that was
5. So that was my 5, and then
speaking of Restoration, one I'm really surprised you didn't have Ryan on your list for mean games.
Yeah, Thunder Road is so mean,
mean, so aggressive. I enjoy the aggression. Another game, for example, where you thought, Isaac just hates this game, and I was just having a bad night.
You were having a bad day.
I felt horrible, but I was like, I enjoyed the game. I know you don't see that here, but it just wasn't feeling good. But great game, great and mean.
Yep.
Right,
so John Schwartz throwing in Menace Among Us.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Menace Among Us. All right, next game, Seppy.
Are we strictly board games, or do we include tabletop games, role-playing games? Where are we?
Yeah, anything
in that genre.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for its level of punishing a Robin Crusoe.
Okay.
I've never played. Familiar. I've never played
it is brutal and it is awful.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. These are games that punish you. Like,
yeah.
It's not mean as far as you get a chance to be mean to other people. This game is mean to you.
Mean to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
On that same note, Blue Lagoon is very mean to you. This game is area control game. I think this is Reiner. Yeah, Reiner design. Blue Orange Games. This is the most Moana, non-Moana game in the world. And Blue Lagoon is ruthless. It is the most cutthroat area control game I know of, and it is just rude. And we've had multiple married couples have arguments in front of us while playing this game. So,
Wow. Yeah. Speaking of couples fighting, Daryl told us a story about a best friend, a very good friend of his, and their roommate who played this game with him. And at the end of the game, she said, "I hate you. I'm never living with you again," and literally moved out the next day. I'm like, Daryl, you've got to be kidding me. That can't be a real story. He's like, 100% swear it happened. And that was I'm the Boss. Sid Sackson's aggressive negotiation.
another Sid Sackson game.
If you like, I don't know if you've Ryan, you have not had a chance to play this yet,
I have
right?
not.
Seppi, have you played I'm the Boss?
No.
It's an old one.
Okay.
They've reskinned it. It's Eagle Griffin, but it is so aggressive. You're making deals. It's real timey. Like, I'm the boss. No, I'm the boss. No, I'm flying you out. No, you're out. No, you take this cut. We taught Shun how to play this at Origins, and I hosed him over so bad. And he's just looking at me like, "Are you seriously going to do that?" I'm like, "Yep, give me your money." And it was very, but if you can walk away from the game with that,
And
it's great.
Yeah.
Right. And you can still say, "Hey, we're still good friends." But in game, it's super mean.
Man, that's rough. All right, number 3.
Before we go into number 3, I really want to state I collected some of my favorite quotes from fight fans before the end of the Line Kickstarter.
Okay.
And one of them that's on the Kickstarter page you'll see tomorrow, spoiler alert, is "This made my ex-wife cry."
Wow, that has so much in that statement.
There's a lot
Like,
there.
that's a statement you unpacked, right?
There's not that many words, but that's a whole story.
Wow. What a ringing endorsement.
It's so good. Back to the theme where the game punishes you. Regicide. Games that are hard to win, that you're like, how is this happening? Where the game is mean. It's not about people being mean. The game itself is just a tragedy.
I've got one in that same vein. Blue Orange Games. I don't have it because I finally got rid of it because I was tired of being punished. The Big Book of Madness. It's a deck building game that is the most non-Harry Potter game in the world. And you basically found this wizard's tome at your wizard school, and you open it up and it is full of like Cthulhu-esque horrors that open up and they come to life, and you have to keep yourself from going mad through this deck building mechanic. And it is brutal. I think we lost the first 5 games. We barely won one of them, and then lost every game after that, and then just sold it. So
it's fair.
Yeah.
Number 3 for me is one of my favorite Grandpa Beck's games. That's Cover Your Assets. It's mean. It is. And if you play with very sweet people, they hate. They're like, I gotta steal. I don't want to steal it, but if you play with
what you do.
But it's fun. It's great, and they've reskinned it a couple times, but it's classic, great game from Grandpa Beck.
It's good.
I'm gonna go with a hybrid RPG / board game. Have you ever played the Jenga role playing game called Dread?
No,
I know of it, where you pull out items that lead to the story.
So instead of rolling dice for difficulty, like you need like if you play Dungeons and Dragons, you need a 17 to hit. You instead have to pull a certain number of tiles in Dread.
Oh, okay.
Well, you have a common pile, and if you ever knock over the tiles, your character immediately dies.
Oh my gosh, that sounds horrible.
It is such a good game. It's crazy, like the amount of suspense you give it. It's the only game that I know that by the end of a 4-hour session, everybody is 6 feet away from the table.
Nobody wants to breathe.
Nobody wants to breathe. It is so good. for the suspense generating mechanism
Wow.
and the tension that you feel as you're doing this, as you're trying to see in the story. Very mean, but also like so much opportunity for role playing. As far as like indie role playing or board game hybrids, I love me some Dread. Dread is
That's
crazy.
really good. That's really good. So, Rick's here to burn Isaac. Thank goodness
Thanks,
Isaac's
Rick.
wearing a full shirt. So
That was one game that I took my shirt off for at Gen Con last year.
it wasn't
One
even that. He was talking
single-
about your tank top on your latest TikTok.
Oh, yeah, that too. I thought he was talking about my Gen Con.
No, he posted a picture of you in a tank top in our group chat, and he was like, "Why is he playing board games in his tank top?"
It's
Why?
summer, Rick. It's 90
I know,
degrees
that's
around
true.
here.
Wow,
My
Isaac is
battery's
constantly
dying.
taking his clothes off. Holy,
That's
oh my
exactly
gosh.
right.
Family show still.
Tell the show. Cash and guns. This game is brutal. Anybody can point a gun at you. We have a friend who the first time she ever played it, she sits down. 3 guns get pointed at her. Second time she gets 3 guns pointed at her. Third time she's dead. She was like, "This game's stupid. I'm going home." So,
That's fair.
she also didn't know how to quit.
Yeah,
She
that's
just kept
also
getting
fair.
shot.
Let's talk about what my kids love. I don't know if you've ever seen or heard this Organ Attack.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's like animated organ body parts. Like you've got the gallbladder and the kidney stones and
Yep.
all these, and you're like, oh, I'm going to give your gallbladder gallstones, or I'm going to
I
give you
remember that
cirrhosis of your
Kickstarter.
liver, and then your liver's dead, and so you're trying to kill off other people's
Jeez.
organs. It's
Jeez.
crazy. It's super mean, but it's funny.
Oh, I do that. Yeah, that sounds like something I would write. That's pretty hysterical. I love that.
good.
Absolutely.
All right,
And
Seppy, last one.
Number 5.
As a number 1, and the cat. It's because it took 9 years to write. Conquest Princess.
There
People
we
do
go.
not understand a game that has the word fashion in it and the word princess in it
That's funny.
is as punishing as Conquest Princess is. It literally, we put on the box. Oh, not on, this is an old box, but the new box, our slogan is enjoy the punishment. It took me 9 years to write, Isaac.
Wow.
I love the fact that you showed us the comic books and stuff and the different pieces. It just feels like a whole ecosystem.
It's
awesome.
amazing. But if you want like understanding like how suspense creates effort and all that kind of stuff, but the game's mean and unapologetically so.
That's cool. That's
But
awesome.
it gives you a ramp up so you can learn the things that you need to do, and you can continue to play different missions based on the level of difficulty or changing up on the what you want to do, kind of like the Crew does. Yeah,
Sure.
I'm
It
gonna
eases you into it.
it eases you into it and so forth.
Yeah.
But by the end, the Crew's insane. Like, do this thing, and if you wink 6
Yeah,
times, then you fail the mission. Oh God, I can't blink. I can't blink.
That's funny. One of my favorite mean games, Survive. This one is so brutal. You're just trying to destroy everybody else on the island and make sure that they get sunk by whales and eaten by sharks. Survive is
great.
mean, and it's a design that's held up for a lot of years. So really enjoy that one.
I thought Isaac was going to pick the last one, that thing where you have to say the words and you put that weird plastic thing in your mouth.
Plastic thing in your mouth.
There's so many of those at Goodwill. I don't know who's buying those at Goodwill.
I know.
Dental Dam, the game.
I was gonna pick Aaron's favorite Contrabanter, but since
Contrabanter's so good.
it's so good. I love it so much.
We played it the other night. I got a whole nother group of people who hate it now.
That's
But
a specific type of evil food.
But here's my choice of evil and mean. You talk about punishing somebody that doesn't know how to play this game, and you just go, "You want in? Sure." Sure, you're going to get hustled in this game.
The worst part of that is you have to sit around 4 more hours to watch your loss.
Because you know you're out at a certain point. You know there's nothing to save my game. And I think even experienced players know when they play this game, there's a point where they're like, yep, I'm done. Now I got to watch everybody else make lemonade and eat burgers. But I love it. It's great.
Yeah, that game is being good choice, Isaac.
Yeah. That'll
I'll take
do
all
it.
your lemonade. Yep.
So that was our pick 5 mean games. Let's end of the show before you guys jump into the Kickstarter for End of the Line. We're going to talk about what we've been playing. So Seppi, what's a game you've been playing right now?
Computer games, role-playing games, board games. What are we talking about?
Anything.
Name any of them.
All right. Well,
what's
I'm
been
getting
entertaining
to, as somebody who makes games for a living, I of course have multiple jobs. I have 3 other jobs. But I've been getting to play other people's prototypes have been very, very exciting lately.
Nice.
I'm feeling my mojo, like I have something to give back, and so
Nice.
I do counsel people if they want to like do their games. So one of my counselees is a thing. That's one of my jobs. But like the thing that I play most, obviously Steam generated or like on the Steam platform turn-based games, because I can do a thing in game that I can do something in real life.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And I am playing XCOM 2, which is an apocalypse, War of the Chosen Long War. Do you know what this is,
I don't
Isaac?
know what that is.
I do not.
I love XCOM 2.
If you love XCOM 2, the expansion to it was War of the Chosen, and this Long War has been called the most ambitious and complete mod in the history of PC gaming.
Really?
It takes the 35-hour campaign in XCOM 2 and makes it 150 hours.
Good night.
And so you
just
play,
adding new missions and adding new branching paths.
It makes new tech trees for all the people.
Okay.
It makes new equipment for all the people. It doubles the types of missions that are going on. It adds this interesting. The best part about it is it adds this insurgent mechanic where you are trying to be an insurgent all around the world because you cannot be in one place long enough or Advent will come and destroy you. So every time you do a mission in a place, it raises the alert level of that place. It is so good.
That's crazy.
But it is, it's punishing. It's unapologetically hard, and you need to know a lot about it. But it's crazy. This game, as its own standalone thing, it shows gamers and fans of a thing can do amazing stuff if they are motivated. Like,
that's cool.
Board Game Arena is literally proof that if you are a fan and a believer and you want to do and share something with the world, that you can change like how people see fun. And nothing is more rewarding than when you discover a fandom that treats you and your potential as much as you can. And that's the number one reason that I suggest people like become a fan of indie games. Like Star Wars is amazing and everybody can enjoy the camaraderie of other Star Wars fans, but you do not matter to the Star Wars fandom.
That's true. 100%.
If you are a fight fan, I have probably gone to karaoke with you.
That's funny.
I know your kids, like my fridge is covered with like Christmas signs from fans and like their kids, like Henry and Aaliyah. I know, their birthdays, like they're the twins of one of the fight fans. Like,
that's awesome. That's really cool.
I love it.
That's good. Yeah. I've been playing Ultimatch. Ultimatch is Fireside Games. This one's really cool. It's a puzzle. It's a color and number puzzle using cards. It's cooperative. It's hard to beat. I really enjoy it. It's a good puzzle, and so it's one of the few games that I would actually solo because it just feels like a nice puzzle. You're sitting down and you're like, okay, I think I should do this, and then you get yourself in a bind, reshuffle the cards, start again. So,
and if you take out 3 letters, it's Isaac's favorite game.
Unmatched.
Well, I guess I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. Isaac's going to come on here one day and surprise. You know what is a surprise, Isaac?
Tell me.
I published a podcast today.
No. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it at work. It came up on my watch, and I'm sitting here, and it like working with a patient, and I was like, no, he didn't.
Yeah, I
After
did.
16 months,
16 months I've had this
put out our
episode.
podcast.
Good
So
job.
after 16
Yeah.
months,
Never
Will It
give up.
Game? Will It Game?
Never
The
give up.
series is back.
it's back. So
Yes,
Good
that's a
job.
great. Has Seppy been on Will It Game?
Seppy, have you been on Will It Game?
It would
Do you
be
know
a
it? Are you
long time
familiar?
ago.
It would have been a long time. I don't think you
It would
have
be
been on
in and
here.
around Sovereignty's like prime. My time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, episode 85 is out. So
Yeah. 85. That's incredible. Good job, Ryan.
yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
And Rick White. Good job, Rick White.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good job, Rick and Rick
So,
White.
there we go.
What have I been
yeah.
playing?
What you been playing?
Two simple games. Chad sent me this. It's coming on his Kickstarter real soon. Is
Ooh,
Raw
Raw
and
and Right,
Right.
Yeah,
It's a
it's so
fun
good.
little Raw and Right. And then this is my favorite pickup from Origins. We Cannot Stop Playing. Tangram City.
Yeah, I need to play
UA's
that.
new game from Capital or from why am I blanking? Capstone.
Capstone.
From Capstone. It's great. Plays 5. I love it. I can't stop playing it. My son and
Nice.
wife and I have played this a ton. It's such a fun puzzle. And the best part of it, it's a polyomino game, right? But the best part is every polyomino, the majority of polyominoes are tanagrams, so they don't match when you flip them to the same side. And the side is specific and it matters. And so it's kind of a very puzzly, fun
That's
little
cool.
experience. So that's what I've been playing.
Nice. Seppy, connect with Rick White and we'll have you on Will It Game. So
Oh, that'd be super fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
And you'll hear it in 16 months.
No,
That'll
I'm
be
producing
fine.
episodes weekly now.
Oh,
Back
good,
to
good, good.
So
I don't mind. We've talked about that's like a week in my old guy math.
there we go.
Like,
There we go.
I'd be
Time
like
matters
16
not.
months later. I'm like, oh, he got to it so soon. That Ryan,
Yeah, so quickly.
those young guys, they really have all the energy.
whippersnappers.
Yeah, whippersnapper.
Seppy, where can people find you online?
I am fighting a box everywhere. We managed to out wrestle a Brazilian jiu-jitsu company like literally like 11 years ago, as far as internet wrestle, like 11 years ago, and we've been fighting a box everywhere since. So
There we go.
I love
it
it.
is, yeah, like particularly if you like board game design, come check out our YouTube shorts where I talk about board game design daily. Otherwise, if you like topics in and around the game community and why gaming is important, my TikTok lives on Wednesday is a great place to check in.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you. Well, Will It Game is like a fine wine. There we go.
Thanks, old sport guy.
There we go.
It takes 18 months before you can drink it. Is that
exactly? Yeah. So, gotta marinate in it. So it's the good episodes. Anyway, download the latest episode of Will It Game. We have a couple really good episodes coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're back for a new season, so be sure to download those. You can find us all over the place at One Board Family, and that's it.
What's
Rick,
One Board Day, Ryan?
One Board Day. We announced our one-day convention. It is September 7th, in Atlanta, Georgia. One full day of gaming. We're going to be hanging out. It's family friendly. It's an atmosphere where you can bring the whole family, play games, just hang out, have some fun times. We've got trivia. We're going to have a game show that we've created, that Rick has created. It's going to be a lot of really fun stuff. One Board Day, September. Hold it. You said 8th? Isn't it 7th?
Does he know?
No, September 7th. September 7th. Rick.
Does Rick
September
know?
7th. Rick. Jeez,
Rick's excited about it. See?
Oh, look at that,
Rick is excited. Look at his excited.
He wants to make it 2 days. He's like,
There we go.
7th is the warm-up day, and then we'll do
Excited.
8th for Rick's real day.
How
Look,
excited
it's
he
like
is.
Rick's on the show.
Yeah, he is.
That would be awful.
All right, where can sure.
You can find us at Gaming with Sidekicks anywhere. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and on our website, where we have a few new reviews coming out this week. And I've got a really good sit down with Grant from Grant Rex a Game.
Oh, jeez, I can't wait to see that TikTok.
Week. I mess up his channel a lot in videos and
all the time.
Grant Rex a Game, Grant Rex Games, Grant Game Rec, and this time we went with Grant wrecks a game, and he literally
destroyed it.
Destroyed a game for me.
I have one of my most shaming moments as an adult in more recent history is Grant was taking his comedy hour, like testing it out, and it's really good, and I highly recommended it. And he was doing it at the Fantasy Flight Game Center at the time. You know, it's a big space, it's game related. And he was going into his routine, and he got to this point about Kickstarter. And he's like, why do people do it? Nobody ever delivers on time. I literally stood up and yelled at him saying, how dare you, sir? I've delivered early on 3 of my Kickstarter's promises that I've been on time with. How dare you? I thought we were friends.
I love it. Really I love it.
Really and then I'm like, oh, he looked at me like, oh,
that was too much. That was too much.
Got too real.
It was too real because I was like, I was very fragile at the time, and I just needed that validation. It was a bad time in my life, and I felt very bad that I did it. It was very shaming. I lost control.
But Grant's a good guy. I'm sure
And so that's where I wrecked Grant's game.
Wrecked Grant's game set. So, cool. Well, Seppy, thank you so much for joining us, and you'll hear Seppy on Will It Game on a future episode. Connect with Rick White, and we'll get you on the show. So.
Well, can I connect on him on September 8th or 9th? I hear you guys are doing a 3-day convention.
Oh, jeez, Rick, you're ruining it. All right, September 7th, One Board Day, Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, see you guys later. Have a good one.
Peace.